Is this the best or worst knot to tie your hook to your line? Today we're tying and testing the unknown knot on the Rowland Podcast, brought to you by Danco. This is a knot I found on Instagram. I was skeptical at first, but it has tested well. We're going to see if it tests out to be the best knot we've ever tested on the Rowland Podcast. So this knot's actually very easy to tie. You go through the eye of the hook, then loop around and go back through the eye of the hook again. That will create a loop. You will pinch that loop and then wrap the tag end around all the lines 5 times and then put it through the loop that you've created. You're going to snug that down carefully, and finally, when it's tight, it is finished. So we tie and test all the knots. There are lots and lots of videos out there about tying the knots, showing you how to tie them, and most of them tell you that they're very strong knots or they're the best knot. We're going to find that out by using the scale. That's how you actually know whether it is the strongest knot or a good knot or the best knot, right? If it tests really strong, then we're going to put it in our possible knots to use. If it doesn't test very strong, then we're going to throw it out. Which one will this be? So I tied the unknown knot with 15-pound test, and it broke at over 100%. 3 tries, each of them broke over 100%, and you can see how it looks when it breaks over 100%. It does not break at the knot, it breaks in the line above the knot. If you're looking for a very strong knot, maybe the strongest knot to tie on your hook or your lure, this may be it. So where would you use a knot that is 100%? Now, you might think, well, of course, I want the strongest knot that I could ever get. But if you're fishing up against the mangroves or fishing up against brush, you're a bass fisherman, and you aren't using really expensive lures, and there's a very good chance that you're going to hang up, you may have a lot of other time invested in your leader system and tying from braid to fluorocarbon, and then you might want a knot that tests a little lighter so that if anything breaks, it's going to break right off at the hook. Okay? Other people are going to want the strongest possible connection to the hook, but that may be stronger than many of your other knots. So something to think about. In my opinion, I want the strongest knots that I can get throughout my entire leader system, and this one is definitely going to go in my arsenal. This one tests right up there at over 100%. That is the best line to hook knot that we've tested on the Rowland Podcast. This one is definitely a keeper, and it is over 100%. So that means if you're fishing with 12-pound test line, this knot is going to test stronger than the line. So you'll be able to pull the full 12 pounds before your leader will break. And if it does break, it's not going to break at the hook. The unknown knot, what should we call it? Comment below what we should call this knot. I've scoured the internet. I've not seen a single name for this knot. What are we going to call it? So how does this compare to all the other knots that we tie on the Rowland Podcast? I've got a great thing for you. You can download your free knot guide where we have compiled all the results of all the knots we've tied, how they compare, and their breaking strength. You can get that for free at TomRowlandPodcast.com.